start with it. So in the last session we discussed, I mean, runtime polymorphism, right? How dependency injection better we can do using interface implementation model, right? So that is a just practice you need to follow during dependency injection so that it will be easy to you for doing, you know, changes or removing existing. Like, not even this one. Is it RTP? Correct? Yeah. So are you guys able to do this example? Have you tried? Have you realized how this interface implementation model working? Am I audible? Yeah. So please do practice on regular basis, right? I'll be sharing Rajesh number. I hope I shared his number also, right, in the group. If people reach out to him, if you have any problems with your ID or for practice, he can help you. I please request you to do the practice, okay? Yeah. So during runtime polymorphism session, what I discussed is simple core Java concept only. So generally in MVC, right? In MVC based application implementation, one class alone is not sufficient. I mean, we will not everything in a single class. If we do that, your code will become clumsy with all the layers code. So that's why we follow this pattern to make clear logical separation between layers based on the responsibilities. Also, you can say these layers are dividing. So controller will take one responsibility and the service will take another responsibility. DO will do a different activity. So once the user submits the request from the presentation layer or any front end, right? Once the data is received here, the data need to travel from controller to service. Here to here it should travel, and from here to here it should travel. So if between Java classes, right, data if you want to flow between multiple Java classes, the only way is we need to have object of that classes here. We need to have objects of DO class here. So in last session, what I concluded or what we discussed is here. While you having such dependencies, if you compare, your phone with SIM, I have an iPhone. If I use only iPhone's SIM, iPhone only if it is providing SIM card with their own design. In future, iPhone if they charge monthly billing instead of having 200 recharge or 300 recharge, if they say 1000 also, I need to recharge it, or else I need to throw this phone away and I need to buy different phone. That's how CDMA phones started. Nowadays all we are using are GSM phones, so we can put any SIM card here. So as an iPhone provider or any phone provider or Samsung or Redmi, many, right, Windows phones, any phone, Android phones, any phone, right, they will follow universal standard for this SIM slot. Means same sizes they will provide. That means every SIM provider also, as a phone providers, I'm giving same SIM slot. As a SIM providers also, whoever providing network SIM cards, right? They need to follow the same rule, same dimensions, and they need to design the SIMs. So your interfaces are like rules. Your interfaces are like rules that everybody should follow. So when you create an interface, that means rules. What are that rules? In this SIM, I have rules like SIM size, SIM configuration, SIM call, internet. These all are the rules. So when I pass these rules, everybody should follow. Means everybody should implement. Either Geo providing a SIM card or Airtel or Idea or anybody. They should, if they are implementing SIM means they should compulsory implement four methods. Can I avoid any method implementation? In Java, is it possible? If you want to make your class concrete class, can I avoid implementing internet method? By avoiding this internet method, can I able to? If I do that, yeah. If I avoid it, my class will become abstract class. Right? Geo, if it is not providing internet, nobody will use Geo SIM. So they should provide all these implementations, or Airtel should provide all these implementations. Means these are the rules that I am saying very ahead before these implementations coming into the picture. So whoever is implementing, they should follow this interface and they should implement. If they do that, what is the benefit that I am giving? Means these are the rules that if everybody following it, so then it is easy to me to insert this sims here. Any sim I can insert who are following these rules. Who are not following these rules, I can't insert here because they are not following the rules. So here in the rules, in the sense, you need to have a interface and you need to provide implementation. And if you have that interface dependency here, it is easy to us to inject any implementation object, either Geo or Airtel. Same way for your MVC, if you try to apply, right? My controller class is having dependency of service. My service class is having dependency of DAO. Consider my controller class name is A. My controller class name is A, service class name is B, and DAO class name is D. Okay, or else yeah, name it D. If I do directly dependency injection, you learned how to do the dependency injection. Now if I ask you to do the dependency injection, my controller wants to call service method, my service wants to call DAO methods. If I say, let's say you have a save method here to call this save method, or you have a create method to call this create method, or you have a here something register method. From this register method, I wanted to call the method of create from B class. From this create method of B class to I want to call save method of the D class. So as you know the dependency injection, if I say you to implement, what you directly do is you will be creating B class variable reference here and you will inject it. You know how to inject. And same thing you will do here. You will put a DAO class reference here and you will inject it. Many people still they are doing it who know Spring and who don't know runtime polymorphism. They are doing the same thing. So what is the disadvantage if you do the same thing? By using this B reference, I can call it from the registration method. I can call B dot the create method. I can call here. This will work fine. There is no issue with the working. From D, I can from B class I can call save method of D class. From create method, this is also will work fine. No issues. But the problem is in future when I see that my D class code is very old code, old technology I am using here. Consider old technology means JDBC I am using here for the save implementation. JDBC using. So it is not giving much benefit. So I wanted to move to ORM. So which means I wanted to write a different class. In place of D, I want to delete D class and I want to discontinue with this D class at least for B layer. Maybe for other classes they are using JDBC. B is an important class as D class save method is not giving good performance. So as an alternative, I want to implement a new D class, ND. New D class I wanted to implement with the different logic here. New D class I wanted to implement with the different technology. Same DO layer. Same save method I wanted to implement. Save or save with the war something. And here I am using some ORM concepts to save. So now if you want to change this code from JDBC to ORM, client suggested remove this JDBC logic or discontinue with this D code, D logic for B and add one new D class with ORM. If you say, you will say okay. So what you will do? You will start writing new D class. As a developer, you will be putting efforts to write this new class. So you will be implementing it. Once you're done with this implementation, again as a developer, what you need to see in B class, they said in B class you have to change the logic. He said B class is using old D class. I don't want to use that old D class. Now I wanted to use new D class. Okay. So then what you need to do, you have to go here. Instead of using D, new D class, you need to configure here. So one configuration change inside B class. And earlier the method inside your create method also, earlier you were calling save method of D class. Now that name also I changed because I don't following any rules. I'm not following any rules. Just he asked me to implement it in ORM, I implemented it. But why you change this method name? You may say as a developer, that's my wish. I wanted to put save with ORM, that's why I added it. Okay, no problem. D dot save with ORM. But the problem is without following this runtime polymorphism rule, when you do this implementation, if you see here, you are not only changing D class code, you are trying to disturbing B class code also. In B class, if you see two changes you have done, why unnecessarily you did this? When you want to remove a tire, is it need to disturb another tire? My car, having four wheels, one wheel got damaged, one wheel got punctured. Let's say front side right wheel got damaged or punctured. Do I need to remove left side wheel also? At least do I need to touch left side wheel? Let's say you have a bicycle, front wheel is you know punctured. You will repair only front wheel or back wheel also? Only front wheel, right? Why not back wheel? Means in such a way cycles are designed. Both wheels are separated so that once if one wheel got damaged, only that wheel need to be repaired. But when it comes to your application, why you repaired another wheel also? Client asked you to implement a new logic here. You did that. But why again you are repairing B also? Because you are not following better practices here. If you follow better practices, you need not to or you no need to touch this layer. Without touching this layer also, you can able to use this object. You can discontinue with old object and you can continue with new object. How it is possible? When you follow interface implementation model. Well, before implementing your classes, right? If you can have a DAO interface here. I have an interface. Let's say DAO interface I have. DAO interface I have here. In interface, what we will have? Unimplemented methods. Save method with no implementation. Save method with no implementation. While implementing D class in JDBC, if he was implementing this class from DAO interface, if he did that first before this ND class, right? Even client not changed any requirement, consider JDBC only you are using. And before implementing your JDBC logic also, what you did, you created one DAO interface, and from that interface you implemented this DAO class. And during dependency injections, instead you using directly class names here, if you could have used DAO interface reference here. In this DAO interface, what is my method name is save. So you will be calling save only. T dot save. You will be calling d dot save. Even here also, let's say while designing your application itself, if you can spend one more minute, you may create one interface. Just create interface and implement them instead of doing direct implementation in every layer. So for a good practice, what I did, I created an interface first, then I implemented it in my D class. Now using Spring, it is possible to pass implementation object into interface, right? Your D class object now you can comfortably pass into this DAO interface. Is it possible or not? It is possible. Interface can hold implementation object. It is possible. So now what is the benefit here? Now consider client is asking to change your requirement from JDBC to ORM. Now what you will do? You know that there is an interface that you need to implement. So the new DAO class also you will implement from same interface. Implement DAO interface. So when you try to implement from the DAO interface, it will definitely ask you to use the same method name. You can't change it. Can you able to change while implementing interface? Can you able to change the method name? No. As it is same method name you have to use. Logic can be yours. ORM logic you can put. But implementation method name at least will not change. So now you have save method here with ORM technology, ORM framework. Now as a developer, can I pass this ND object into this DO interface? If I discontinue with this, I wanted to discontinue with this. Instead of doing D class dependency injection, now what I want to do, ND class dependency injection I want to do. Can I do it into this interface means? Yes. This interface can accept any implementation. Either it is your D implementation or ND implementation or CD, DD, whatever you implement from your DO interface. Any DO interface implementation is able to inject it into your service. Same way, instead of hard coding this service class here directly, let's have one more layer on top of it. Create a service interface, B interface, BI. While implementing your B class, implement it from BI. Implement it from BI interface, business interface, or your service interface. You implemented it. So before doing injection of this B object here, what you do, you better have, instead of B here, you can have BI dependency. If I put BI dependency here, BI is the interface of the service class. So I can comfortably inject this B object into BI because BI is a parent class for B. So into that parent class, I can able to comfortably do the dependency injection. In future, if you don't want to continue with the service class, if you don't want the service class, if you want to remove the service class because your business logic is outdated, you want to remove only this layer, you can comfortably remove this class and you can add new class with new logic. But you need to implement your interface always so that it will not create any disturbance to your controller also. To make sure that other layers are not, without disturbing other layers, if you want to remove old classes and if you want to add new classes, you need to follow this interface implementation model. So for this interface implementation model, more complement Spring is providing via dependency injection, right? If you have a fire, on fire, if you pour petrol, it will fire much more. So the dependency injection concept is providing a lot of flexibility to you via XML file. You can easily able to inject anything. As a concept wise, this runtime polymorphism we have in Java itself. So if you can able to utilize that runtime polymorphism concept very well here, you can able to achieve this MVC layers loosely coupled. Now, if you consider this is one tire and this is another tire, you have three tires here for your, let's say, auto. I have three tires: front tire, back left, right. If it gets damaged only one tire, remove that tire and add new tire. Install new tire. It will not force you to remove other two tires also. If you apply the same thing for your development. Hello, just a minute. Am I audible? Yeah. So now here, if you apply the same to your MVC implementation, every way, any way you go into any application, right? You will be seeing these three classes only: controller, service, DAO. Controller, service, DAO. That's it. So during implementation of your DAO, you may be really hurry to implement your class. It's okay. Just spend 1 more minute time to create interface. It will provide you a lot of flexibility in future. Same way, before implementing your business class, spend a minute to create interface first and then implement your business. Today maybe you will not realize it, but tomorrow when your old classes need to remove and new classes to add, right? Maybe in future, maybe not today, maybe after 1 year or 2 years. When changes required in your application, it will be easy to do the changes. Without doing this also directly you can inject them. But the problem is all that layers will become tightly coupled layers. Instead, if you have followed this interface implementation model, you can achieve this loosely coupled layers. I hope you all getting right. Yes or no? Simple concept only, no? Yeah, yeah. So this is simple concept, but it will provide you big flexibility. Simple concept only. If you follow this, lot of flexibility you are giving to your application for future scope, for future changes, and you are trying to make your MVC application really, really loosely coupled instead of tightly coupled. You can apply the example of car and wheels, phone and sims. They all following in automobile industry. Why shouldn't we in the software? We should. We should make. You should think always in such a way how I can avoid direct dependency of other classes. It is possible because Java is designed in such a way that interfaces they given, abstract classes given, you can extend them, you can implement them, and in Java it is possible that child implementations can pass into parent references. Because of all that, core Java features, we could able to achieve all this. Okay, so yeah, if you can follow the simple concept, you can achieve good results. Okay, so always remember before implementing service and DAO, create interface, provide implementation. Create interface, provide implementation. Just remember this point. That's it. Yeah, dependency injection. No, dependency injection means it's a concept that we are giving this variable references, of course, at runtime to our class. Okay, via XML. Yes, through X. There also you can do. No, no. There also you can do. If you want to use Notepad and there if you want to configure via file readers, if you want to do, will not support. Will it not support in Core Java? It can, right? It's all up to you how better you can write your code in Core Java also. There also you can put your classes in Notepad or properties file. Correct? Can't we read properties file using collections concept properties? No, you are getting right where I'm going. So even you can do all this using your core Java, but you need to write all this, you need to implement all these concepts in a similar way. Why you need to implement them? Already Spring is given all the features. Just utilize them. Many beauties it given, just utilize them and make your application beautiful. Easy to integrate, easy to maintain, create that flexibility to your application. And as a frameworks means what they will do means they will use your core Java concepts or servlet concepts only. Beyond that, they don't use anything. But lot of code, a better practices or better principles they will follow during designing of their code. Even if you have if you are not a much skilled developer also, you can able to apply skills to your application. Getting? I don't have much skills. It's okay. I use Spring framework and implement it. Though you don't have skills, your application is implemented in such a way that choose skill persons how they will implement, right? The similar way your application will be there if you go with the Spring. All that skills came along with Spring. In Spring, they implemented all that best practices and given to us. Okay, so your application will become good or strong enough to manage real time applications, because they all spend lot of time to implement that framework. Just you need to follow that framework patterns here, that's it. How the I mean, however way they asked us to implement our class, right? If you can implement them, that's enough. All the features they will add on top of it. Anyway, follow this rule, okay? Interface implementation rule, that's it. Now I wanted to start with auto wiring concept. Okay, before auto wiring, okay, before auto wiring concept, why auto wiring is actually required, let us see. Auto wiring also will do dependency injection only. Okay, auto wiring is doing dependency injection only. Yes. No, in a layman terms, where you need to provide implementation means, let's say implement any application, the first part, the first access part, let's say to enter into your apartment, the first access part is your main gate security. Okay, so the first part is controller here for any application. The first foremost layer is controller. Okay, so this layer anyway not going to inject anywhere. He is the first person who will take any request. Nowhere you are going to inject the controller object. From here there will be many layers that we will implement. Service classes, how many classes we used to implement? Business classes on mail services, database classes, right? We used to implement a lot of classes, right? So when you do clear logical separation between your classes, right? Generally, what people used to say, if it is related to mailing logic, implement it in a separate class. Don't include with your business code, right? Separate mail classes. And I have a code here doing fund transfers. Accounting logic I have here. Okay, write that accounting logic here in account. After account fund transfer, I wanted to send mails. It's okay. You want to send mails, you make a call from here to here. After to find out how much balance I have, and uh, to update my account again, I wanted to connect with database. Okay, write separate database logic in DM and connect it from here. And when once user request comes to controller, I wanted to do the fund transfers. Okay, make a call to account. It will do that. In such a way, I designed my application. So if you see here, dependencies means controller is having account dependency. So you better create account interface and implement this account class and put that account interface here. So in future, if you want to change account implementations, you can easily change. Now here I have a mail logic. In future, if you want to change, if you thought mail logics will be changing, so create a mail interface and put that mail interface here before injecting your mail object. Same way for DAO. Create DAO interface reference here and inject it. Getting? So when you have another class dependency, again you may ask why another class means. Logically, when you separate, there will be multiple classes. When you have another class dependency, logically when you separate it, the entire business is what? Business will not say implement separate mail code, separate DAO code. It's up to you. Implement a account fund transfer code with the database logic, mailing logic, everything in a single class. But your code is not, better rules you are not following. Means uh, for every object, it need to have its own individuality or its own identity, right? If you put account logic with the database logic and mailing logic, it won't make any sense. So that's where we logically we try to separate them. So database logic we write separately into DAOs, mailing logic we write separately into mailing. So when you divide them, still you divide them, you have dependency of them in your account class. So you have dependency of them in your account class. So let's create interfaces first to that classes and implement them. and use interface references only here and inject that implementation objects here. Getting right? So that's how you can able to avoid the direct dependency of again those classes. Maybe here today I might use Java mail API, tomorrow I might use different mail APIs. I may change, you know, based on the processing speed. Let's say today I'm using Google API, tomorrow I have my own Outlook API. If I try to convert my mail API to that, I'll do all that changes here in this layer. I don't disturb my account class. If I want to do any tweaks in my database logic, I'll go to DO and do that changes. I don't disturb my account class. And in future, if I want to discontinue with this class and if I want to add new class, you can do that if you follow interface implementation. Okay, you'll be realizing it. Okay, try to write classes. You'll be realizing. So yeah, so we thought to start auto wiring concept. Okay, auto wiring also will do dependency injection only. So here you may ask question. Already we are doing dependency injection. Why we need auto wiring? Okay, so auto wiring will do what? Automatically it will do the dependency injection. Auto wiring will do what? Automatically it will do dependency injection. Like how, let's say you have a controller class here for registration. User have one front end page registration. So from there he is submitting registration form data, his name, email address data he's sending from his view. So this data we are hitting to a controller. From here our code journey will start. Java code. So we write controller here, and this controller need to hit a service. If there any business logic related stuff, we'll be putting here in the service logic, service layer. And if any database operations required, we do write DO class and call it. But during dependency injection, what we are doing manually, as a developer, you are doing it right. Manually, you are injecting them first in Spring XML file. What you are doing manually, you are creating a DO object first with the ID, right? We are putting a class DAO with ID something D, and you are injecting that DAO into service, right? In between these tags, we are using a reference, using property tag or constructor tag, right? We are using a reference, and we are trying to injecting DAO object here. And into controller, we are trying to injecting service class object. So this is how we are doing dependency injection manually. DAO object we used to pass it into D class reference, we used to pass it into service class. Then service class object we used to pass it into controller class. So this is how manually we used to inject them. So that's how DAO will available to service, service will available to controller. And whenever user submits this request, we used to take it forward the data with that dependency objects. So dependency injection will be executed and it will make available that objects to you. For service, it will make available DAO object, and for controller, it will make it available service object. So when user submits this data from here, it will read and it will send data to service, service will send to DAO, DAO will take care of database operation. So this is how if you have 100 pages, 100 views, 100 controllers, 100 services, 100 DAOs. If it is a manual approach, you need to do this stuff manually always. 100 times the same cycle you need to repeat. 100 times, 100 classes. For each layer, 3 classes, right? One controller, one service, one DAO. The same exercise, if you have 100 pages, the same exercise you need to do for 100 times. 100 times manually you need to do the dependency injection. That means you are putting manual efforts to do the dependency injection. Okay. So instead of doing it manually, you can automate it. Means you need not to say inject this D object here. You need not to say this inject S object here. Without you doing it manually, you can automate it. Instead of you code here, you can ask Spring itself, find yourself and do it. You don't ask me to do the dependency injection. You can say to Spring, you do that. I don't want to do that. I don't have that time. You do the dependency injection yourself. How it will do that? You may get question into your mind. How it will do that? If I say only now, it can able to identify which class it requires. Without we say how it will. In such a way, you need to automate it. How car, in automobile industry, how cars are making using robots instead of making them manually. Robots are doing it right. Robots will do the painting. Robots will fix wheels. Robot used to fix many things. Manually, they may put steering and all. Maybe robots can do everything from making car body to installing it. Everything robots also can do. In such a way, we need to design the robot first to do this step, do that step. If we code something for that robot will do that job. Every time the same job it will do exactly 100% it will do. Man may do the mistakes, right? But machines never. If you say one pattern, the same pattern it will execute 100% every cycle for every cycle. Correct? So if I have a car factory here, if I have a car factory here, and I'll just give material here, whatever material this car factory required, and I have all robots here. One robot to prepare painting. I have one painting robo. Robo means automated missions. I have. They will do that. Painting robo, and I have fitting robo, fitting wheels, and I have other robo for fitting something seats. I have robots in my factory. So for them already, I given pre instructions. It have only instructions to fit the wheels. It have only instructions to fit the seats. Many factories are using this robotic technology, right? Robots technology since very long. So let's say a packaging industry, if you see food factories or Amazon also, right? To courier your items, it used to pick robots will pick that items and they used to wrap it in your into a pack and they will send it to finally delivery person. From the delivery person can pick the item and they can deliver it. The same way here. I just given a car body here. Maybe man's did this job. Car body given to the factory. He attached this body to some robots. From here they will take care. Then with the rope, this body will move to painting. Painting will be done. Here your car painting will be done. So painting job is done. From here, once painting job is done, the same item will move to fit the wheels. So here it will fit the wheels. One robot will fit the wheels. Automatically it will do that. Just required wheels, everything, people will make it available to this robot. So that it will pick that wheels and it will fit it automatically. From here this car will move to here and this robot will fit all the seats, whatever seats you have given. All the seats fitting, remaining everything it will do. Finally it will give this car output. factory will give car output. So finally, it will deliver. Now people will drive and put it into showrooms. So what is the benefit if they do this automation? What the benefit you see here from the factory wise? Think from the business point of view, how it is benefiting me. Let's say today one car is announced. I announced a car by from next month the cars will be available for the booking. So at a time if my car is having with all the features ADAS, auto drive mode, automatic and climate control, ventilators. It's with all the features I designed my car and I announced it for very less price. And I got bookings number like 3-4 lakhs booking I got in the next day itself. If I don't have automated factory, if I believe people, can I able to deliver them? People may go into sick or they may get holidays or between I don't know some kind of pandemic may come and they may not work. In that time, at that time, how I can able to manage it? And while people doing it right, if they paint it the same color or same finishing, they may not do it for another car. So people may get complaints. People may complain my car color is different, another person car color is different, my wheels fitted in a fitted in a different way, other person wheels fitted in a different way, my seats are not comfortable but other people car seats are comfortable. We may get so much complaints. To make sure that for everybody giving the same quality of painting, same quality of fitting, how we can ensure? If I have some robots, they can do this. Always 100% same job they will execute because same instructions they follow. And if people not available also, with very less people, I can able to manage my factory and within a 1 month I can do huge delivery. If people are doing all this, maybe they don't do it for 24 by 7, but a robot can do 24 by 7, 365 days, Saturdays and Sundays also robots can work. They don't complain to anybody. They don't have any labor rules. They can work for 365 days, 24 by 7. So they can deliver. Right? Lot of productivity as a owner, right? For these cars, I'm getting lot of productivity and quality I'm getting so that my business is success. For all 3 lakh people, I can able to deliver 3 lakh cars with the same quality, good productivity. So whatever margin I have, that I used to earn it. Let's say my margin is 1,000 crores. For that 1 month, 1,000 CR, I can put it into my pocket. If I believe people, I don't know when they can able to prepare this car, when they can able to deliver it, and I don't know how many complaints I will get from people. So I'm not sure my business projections. I don't know where it goes. I announced it, but I'm not sure people can able to achieve that feat or not. Same thing if you apply to your application, maybe I took a very big example, but if you try to apply here for your application, okay, you have a big client like a banking client, and here there is a scope to implement thousands of classes for each. I have considered 5,000 use cases. I have 5,000 use cases. I have for each use case I need one view, one controller, one business class, and one DAO class for each use case. So for each use case, I have altogether 5 classes here. One view, apart from view, right? I have one controller, one business, one DAO. Altogether, I have 3 classes here. For 5,000 layers, your classes count will become 15,000. 15,000 classes you are implementing. 15,000 classes are implementing, and I don't have very skilled developers to implement them. Maybe 1 or 2 skilled people I have in my team. Everybody need not to have the same set of skills, right? So I don't have much skilled people. Still I want to ensure that this 15,000 classes need to be designed in a same way. Though he is a technical lead or though he is a junior developer. Both their codes should be similar. How I can ensure? I need some kind of automation to ensure it. Whoever is doing it, they need to deliver the same quality. How I can ensure? If you can put some automation, kind of robots. Here in software industry, we say automation. We say that as a automation. So here if I can able to automate it, whoever is writing this 15,000 classes, including a architect to write it, or a lead write it, or a senior developer write it, or a junior developer write it, they all can ensure the same quality. How? If your framework is automated, so it will make sure that everybody everybody's will code will execute in the same way. Many things they automated, they started with the dependency injection first, so they avoided it. In Spring Fast, they avoided it. They are saying, you don't do dependency injection, please, I will take care. You don't do dependency injection, please, I'll take care of it. So whatever you are doing manually here, right? Whatever you are doing manually here, that you need to avoid slowly. So that if you can give better result. Everybody can deliver same quality. When you automate it, anywhere in any industry, right? Productivity and quality also used to good. So with auto wiring, they avoided this dependency injection first. With auto wiring, they avoided manual dependency injection first. Slowly, if you see the next concepts also, right, you will be realizing it. Slowly, they automated it from manual to automation, from manual to automation. Everything they moved from manual to automation until Spring Boot. You will realize it. Manually, whatever you are doing it, slowly, Spring used to automated it. Slowly, development they automated it so that we can ensure the good quality of our product. And apart from that, right? Apart from that, lot of time saving, right? Lot of time saving, productivity in less time. Lot of time saving also here. If man making this car to deliver that 3 lakhs cars, they may take 1 year, whereas robots can deliver it in 1 month. So here your code also 15,000 classes, whatever you are implementing in plain core Java or core technologies, if it is taking 1 year time, when you choose a better frameworks which are having automation techniques and all, they can do it, they can make you to deliver it in maybe in 1 month. Okay. So they automated dependency injection first. So how it is possible with the two approaches they given? In old days we used to use auto wiring with XML based. Now anyway we are not using it, and we have annotation also with auto wired annotation, with auto wiring annotation, auto wired with auto wired annotation or XML based. Though XML based we are not using, I'll give you examples how XML based we used to do. Okay, then auto wired also we can see.